Hello and welcome to my Clionadh guide. I already filmed the part where I go through the website and I feel like I'm gonna cover most of it there, so I'm gonna keep this introduction short. I think the first thing we're going to talk about is the price, and Clionadh's price is in Canadian dollars, so the price will fluctuate a lot depending on the exchange rate. And I think that if you're thinking of buying Clionadh, it's probably better if you wait until one of the times where the exchange rate is really favorable, like if you're purchasing in American dollars, because you can get sometimes quite a discount depending on the exchange rate. Just for example, I remember when I first got into Clionadh, some of the jeweled multichromes were $25. I don't have any of these, but when I got into them, they were about $25, and now they're about $19. So if you're getting like a few shadows, you can end up saving a lot of money. So I think that's like the best way for you to save money on Clionadh would be to wait for a favorable exchange rate. But in terms of the price, it can kind of go between $5 for their regular shimmer formula, like the round pans, and then the stained glass collection, which is the multichrome collection. I think the cheapest ones can be around $6-7, and the most expensive ones are the jeweled multichromes, which right now are about $19. But that price can fluctuate, as I said. In terms of sales, Clionadh really doesn't do many sales. They usually will have like a 10% discount off the stained glass collection, but I don't think I have ever gotten more than that. They have affiliate codes, which I think also save you around 10%. So I really don't think that like waiting for a Clionadh sale it's gonna make much of a difference. You're probably better off waiting for the exchange rates to be more favorable to you rather than waiting for a sale. But they do have some affiliate codes that will give you some percentage off, and I believe that if you buy 10 singles from the stained glass collection, you can get like a cross formula discount also for I guess 10% off. I'm just going like off the top of my head from what I remember. And then they sell bundles, which can also give you a discount if you want all the shadows in a formula. But personally, I wouldn't recommend that you buy bundles because all the formulas have not all the formulas. I mean, the glitter multichrome formula is the only one that I've gotten the full bundle for them, and I didn't regret anything. But if you have a lot of multichromes, there might be some dupes that you don't need, or again, there are sometimes some formula inconsistencies, and I'm gonna get into it when I go to the website. But yeah, overall, I don't think that the bundles are a good idea. I mean, I guess that like depending on your preferences and your makeup collection, they could be. But I think like for the overall average makeup, average indie eyeshadow lover, I don't think you need the bundles. Pen size, I think you can tell. I mean, you probably already have some Clionadh shades, but if you don't, Clionadh has this very unique pen size. It is not a 26mm square pan. It's more of a rectangle. I might put the exact measurements on the screen because I don't know it by heart. But the only other brand that has a similar pan size is Viseart. They're bigger pans, and the classical like rectangle palettes are a little bit bigger. Like these will fit in a Viseart palette with a little bit of space. Like it's not exactly the same, but it's the closest thing that I believe that there is in the makeup world. And then in terms of resources, I really don't know anyone who gets, well, I don't know any creators on Instagram that got all the shades in PR. Being very honest with you, the person who has helped me really see all the shades in this in the stained glass collection was Angelica. I am gonna link down below the 2 videos that she has when she did the first swatching of all the stained glass, and then when they did the expansion shades, she then swatched all the expansion shades, and really like that was the video that helped me figure out which shades I wanted and which ones I didn't, because she does have a really good lighting setup where you can really see which ones are sparkly, which ones are metallic, which is what I care, you know, the most about. There are other creators on Instagram that I know have gotten some PR from from Clionadh, but no one that I know that has gotten all the shades. But yeah, I'm gonna link down below to the same two creators that, you know, I use for my Terra Moons video, Riley and Nopur. I know that they got the newest palette from Clionadh in PR, and they also did like videos, comparisons, eye swatches, you know, so I'm gonna link them below for that palette. But for the stained glass collection, really the only resource I can give you is Angelica, which you probably have already seen her videos if you're interested in buying from Clionadh. I think that is it. I'm gonna go to the website and really go over everything there with you, because I already filmed that part, and I think that everything else is already covered there. So here we are at the Clionadh website, and I have to say that out of all the indie brands, I feel like Clionadh definitely has one of the best and most organized websites. Pretty much the stained glass collection is their multichrome collection, and then they have their standard shimmer formula, which you can find pretty much here. You can also shop the multichrome eyeshadow here, but I personally think it's easier to go through this tab because then you have the separation into the formulas, and I'm gonna get into this later. I just want to start with the standard eyeshadow formula. I don't know if they have discontinued a lot of these, because I have a lot more of these circle pans than they have, you know, available here. And as I said, I'm gonna link my my guide below, because I have swatched all the ones I have. I think the only one that's not on the guide is Centaur, but everything else should be there. And I have to say, the majority of these shadows have a very standard metallic shimmer formula, apart from Centaur. Centaur, it's quite sparkly compared to the other ones, and Linny also is more sparkly, but everything else I would say it's more of a metallic than a sparkly formula. I really like Toadstool, Shroom, and Wormwood out of the, you know, the standard metallic formula. I know I like some others, but these are the ones that I remember off the top of my head, because these are duochromes and you can use them as one and dones, and they look very like elegant, you know, but without being super shiny. So yeah, this is, I mean, I don't think this is their, I don't know, I have something in my throat. This is not their like standout formula, but it's definitely good. It's just not one that, you know, when I think about Clionadh I think of. Although Centaur is quite sparkly, I have to say. I was really surprised when I got this, because I think it's one of their, I think it's the newest one that they have launched in this formula, and they don't launch shades in this formula very often. Now we go into the stained glass collection. This is, I think, their main, you know, product. First we have the jeweled multichromes. I don't have any of these, but these are their black base shiny metallic multichromes, and I have to say that the price varies on Clionadh's website because it is in Canadian dollars, so it depends on the exchange rate, and these can go quite high. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I first got into Clionadh, these were around $25. I remember that the bundle was like 400 something, so you know, it can fluctuate. So if you want to buy at least like these ones that are quite expensive, I would say for you to make sure that like it's during a time where the exchange rate is more favorable to you. I think $18.98 is a pretty good price, especially for like a black base multichrome. I think that's like a standard price for a lot of formulas. But as I said, I don't have any of these. Based on what I've seen, you know, like swatches and reviews, people really like this formula, and it seems to be one of the shiniest ones out there that you can get for black base multichromes. Because I mean, at least the black base multichromes that I have from other brands, they're not really shiny. But these ones apparently are. If you have them, just please let me know in the comments below if you think that's correct, because I really like don't know, because I don't have them. Then we have the hybrid multichromes, and I have to say I'm a little bit conflicted on these because I only have the original bundle. I don't have the expansion shades, so I cannot speak about the formula on these. But in the original bundle, I get what they were trying to do, but I don't know if they did it very well. Pretty much this is supposed to be like a black base multichrome with sparkles. And they're not all black base multichromes, but they have, I think, like the classic shifts and the classic tones that you get in the black base multichrome formula. But the formula on these is very inconsistent. Like Chalice, for example, it's quite sparkly, but I don't think it's shifty. I don't see any shift on it. Same thing with embroidery. I don't see any shift in embroidery. Tapestry, on the other hand, is shifty, but I wouldn't say it's a sparkly. It's more metallic. You know, Chalice is much more sparkly than Tapestry, so it's a little inconsistent, and it's none of these shades are like fully my vibe. I think Chalice is the one that I use the most, and Shard also, but they all have something like dark, like this one is a green gold, but there's something dark and muted about it at the same time. So they all have like a similar vibe of being like of a brighter color while being dark and muted. But yeah, I don't think this is like the standout formula from Clionadh, you know? I particularly do not like Tapestry and Rose Line. I don't think that... I mean, Tapestry is just not sparkly, but it is shifty. Rose Line, to me, it's just kind of dull, and I also don't see any shift on it. Mosaic is really close to Rose Line, but Mosaic is more shifty. So yeah, I mean... I don't know. I mean, I think Chalice is like a classic. People really have Chalice and like it, but the formula in general, like, I'm a little bit torn on it. Then we have the glitter multichromes. This is probably my favorite formula from Clionadh. I only have the original bundle. I do not have the expansion, although I plan on getting it once it's, you know, back in stock. And this is, I think, one of the most consistent formulas for Clionadh. These are all sparkly, multichromes. I wouldn't call all of these multichromes. You know, most multichromes to me are duochromes, and a lot of these I really don't see much of a shift, but a lot of them have a base that is a different color from the sparkle, so they have some dimension on them, but overall I would say they are sparkly. The majority of them are more sheer. The only one that comes into my mind that isn't really sheer is Opulent, but there could be others that, you know, I just don't remember exactly. But yeah, I think that this is a formula that I would 100% recommend to you if you like sparkly, you know, like dimensional shadows on the more sheer side. And you know, you can just choose them based on your color preference. You know, there isn't any shades that I would not recommend to you. You know, I think it's all based on the colors that you tend to like. You know, some of my favorites are Grisaille, Carving, Chandelier, Opulent, and Abrasion. But you know, yeah, this is like I think it's a very consistent formula. You're not going to be disappointed if what you want is a sparkly, on the sheer side, you know, duochrome, multichrome. Yeah, I also have to say, this is one of the only bundles, like eyeshadow bundles, that I have purchased from, you know, brand, because I usually get bundles because I can't decide the shades that I want, and it is one of the only bundles, you know, out of all the bundles I have bought from all the brands I have bought, that I didn't regret getting the bundle. Most of the time I will regret getting the bundle because there's usually like one or two shades that I think like, oh, I really did not need this. This is one that I did not regret. I got the bundle and I am still happy that I have the bundle, you know. So yeah, I just think like I need to tell you that so you understand my feelings about this formula. Then we have the Glitter Vibrant. This formula, I only have Regal because they released that one before they released the other shades. I am planning on getting Empress, Court Jester, and Duchess. Diadem is a dupe for Terra Moon's The Cosmos, you know, all the shades in that family. So I'm not getting this one. And Noble just doesn't look that dimensional to me, so that is why I'm planning on getting these. But this is a very, I mean, based on what I've seen on Regal, very sparkly, opaque, more on the opaque side formula. Although Duchess, I've seen swatches, doesn't look that opaque. But Regal, for example, has multicolored sparkles on it. The sparkles shift to a different color. So I find this to be very, very dimensional. And also more on the unique side. I don't know if I have anything quite like Regal. I am going to do a comparison soon. But this is a formula that I would definitely recommend if you, like me, like color, you know, because they're all I guess a little bit more colorful, and you like the ultra sparkly multi-dimensional, you know, kind of eyeshadow. But yeah, I'm only speaking about Rigo here because I haven't tried any of the other ones. Then we have the Vibrant Multichromes, and this is a formula that I'm also torn because I feel like we have three different formulas inside this formula. We have a more satin, metallic, like smooth metallic formula, which is Throne, Courtyard, and Lineage. I do have to say, Courtyard and Lineage are shinier than Throne. I really don't like Throne. Mine at least is like very dull. It's a yellow with a red sheen. And this is something that I've seen happen a lot with eyeshadows that have a red sparkle or a purple sparkle or even a pink sparkle, that sometimes I think they all use the same like pigment for the sparkle, and it's a duller sparkle, especially when you compare to shadows that have a blue or a green shimmer. So yeah, this one for me is very, very dull. I wouldn't recommend this one. Now, Courtyard and Lineage are shinier. Even though Lineage has a pink sparkle, I think it is shinier. Courtyard is also shinier. Again, not sparkly, but definitely shinier than Throne. I do really like Lineage, but it is more of a subtle shadow. And I know that people like Courtyard too. It's just not fully my color. Then we have a second formula, which is a sparkly formula, but the base color and the sparkle color are the same. So they are not ultra dimensional, you know. We have Crown Jewel, Heirloom, Topiary, Majesty, and Coronation on that family. I don't have any favorites in this family. They are quite sparkly, but none of the tones are exactly my tones. So I wouldn't say like I love any of them, but they are nice. You know, I know like if you like blues, Crown Jewel, you're gonna like it. But it's definitely not ultra dimensional. And I have to say, I really struggle to see the shifts in some of these. Like I wouldn't consider a lot of these shadows to be multichromes. I think that the really good ones are in the third formula, which is a base color that has a different sparkle color, and that sparkle then shifts to something else. And that is Bloodline, Monarch, Reign, and Royalty. These are my favorite ones in this category. They are sparkly and they are more dimensional as well. My favorite ones is Royalty, Reign, and Bloodline. Monarch is just not really my color, but it is in the same formula where you can clearly see a difference between the base and the sparkle, and then the sparkle shifts to another color. But yeah, also a little torn on this formula because of that situation. So yeah, I think I would probably recommend, you know, Bloodline, Reign, and Royalty the most if I had to like choose. Earth Vibrant Multichromes. Okay, I feel like I am torn on a lot of these, and I don't have all of these. I have Royal Peach, Royal Pear, Iron Gate, State, and Royal Plum. I don't know if I have Climbing Vine or not. I do plan on getting a few more shades, but I think that this is a formula that they created for people that want to wear still something, you know, sparkly and dimensional, but on a more muted, you know, kind of in a neutral way. But none of these I would say, well, maybe a few of these are neutrals, you know, like colors, but these are, I guess, like more wearable multichromes, especially if you wear them as one and done shades. I feel that you can really get all the dimension and really see like all that the eyeshadow has in it than if you use mattes and then use one of these. My favorite one out of the ones that I have is Royal Pear, because it has like this lime green base with this purpley pink sparkle. Oh, I don't know if I said that. These are all, I mean, at least out of the ones that I have, these are all like, they are sparkly. They don't have a big particle size. They have a smaller particle size, but I would still consider them to be sparkly. So yeah, as I was saying, my favorite one is Royal Pear, just because it's such a beautiful tone, and like even though it's green and purple, it's still quite soft and muted while still being sparkly and colorful. So this is my favorite, but I have to say I was a little bit disappointed on let's say Iron Gate. I just felt that this one, when I swatch it, it's beautiful. It has this purpley, you know, base, but when I use it on my eyes, even when I use it as a one and done shade, the purple base just really doesn't show. All you see it's like the green sparkle, so it doesn't look as dimensional as I wanted it to. So that's why I'm a little bit torn. And the same thing kind of happens for me with Royal Peach and Royal Plum. I just don't get the full-on dimension. And State, even though it's pretty, it has like a reddish brown base with green sparkle that I have a lot of these shades from other brands at a lower price point, and I don't really see this being like a shifty eyeshadow. Like, these are quite expensive, you know, like for $14 these are more like duochromes to me, you know, at least the ones that I have, like at least on my eyes, you know, like when I'm wearing them, I don't see many shifts, you know. And I have to say, as I said before, most multichromes on my eyes look like duochromes, but there are definitely some shades that when I'm out and about and I look at myself in the mirror, I can see that under different lightings you can see all the shifts, while others just aren't super shifty. And I feel like these ones aren't super shifty, but they're definitely pretty and dimensional. But I just wanted them to have a little bit of a lower price point. That's I guess what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think this is like probably one of people's favorites collection, and maybe, you know, once I get more shades I will start liking it more. But I was just a little bit disappointed with the shades that I got, especially with the price point. Like, if they were on the $8 price point, I probably wouldn't have been disappointed with them. Okay, then we have the electric multichromes. This is similar to me with the Earth Vibrant. I only have a few shades, and again, I feel like some shades are more dimensional than others, but I think you can see clearly why. I have Mural, Emblem, Oreo, and Signet, I think. Yeah, and I have to say, Mural and Emblem, and you can see on the photos right here, like the base color and the sparkle color are very contrasting, so they look very, very dimensional and special on the eyes. While Oreo, I feel like I have a lot of shades like this, you know, it's like the pink with the gold sparkle, you know. I will do a comparison, as I said. But like, if you think of Terra Moon's Antares or Touch of Glam Undeniably Pink, I think it's all in the same family. I don't think it's 100% a dupe for any of those shades, but it's all in the same family. So like, it doesn't feel as special to me as Emblem and Mural, which are much more unique shadows. And Signet also, I think, like, it's the least dimensional of them all because it doesn't have much of a base, and it's all like a pink sparkle. Like, it's a pretty pink sparkly shade, but again, for $15 I'm not so sure about it. So yeah, I mean, I would probably say that like the ones that you can see, like yellow, that you can clearly see that the base color and the sparkle color are different, are probably gonna be more dimensional than the ones like Motif, Signet, Cinder, Rayonnant, you know, that you can, like, they look a little bit more flat. Oh, and I also forgot to say, the formula I find similar to the formula of the Earth Vibrant, that they are sparkly, but it's a smaller particle size. It's not like a big sparkle. Like, I feel like the glitter multichromes have like bigger particle of the sparkles, while the Earth Vibrant and the electric multichromes, and even the Vibrant multichromes that are sparkly, have a smaller particle size. Now the Pastel multichromes. I only have Tower from this collection, and this was a free gift that I got when I placed an order a few years ago, and I never liked it. It's not super shiny, it's very dull looking. I feel like it's more of a metallic than the sparkly shade, and when I wear it on my eyes, it just looks kind of dry. So based on Tower, you know, like my experience with Tower, I wouldn't recommend these, but I know that some people like them. You know, Cathedral was like a very unique color, and I've been tempted to pick it up, but then I really don't like Tower, so that keeps me from buying it. But I know that some people like it, but personally I wouldn't recommend it to you, because I can't, you know, based on my experience, I just cannot recommend it to you. Okay, the Pearlescent multichromes. I don't have any of these, but I'm gonna speak for the experience of my friend Teresa. She has, if I'm not mistaken, Palace and Renaissance. And based on what she has told me, Renaissance isn't shifty, but Palace has a really strong green shift. I'm gonna link below the post that she has where she swatched Palace, but I think you can really see on these swatches on the website that Palace really does look like the most shifty of them all. So, according to her, Palace is the only one in this collection that like seems to be worth the the high price tag, but I personally have not tried these. Then we have the deep iridescent multichromes. I don't have, oh, I'm lying, I do have one of these. I have Azure, and similar to Tower, I feel that Azure also looks quite dull on my eyes. It's more of a metallic formula, but not super shiny. However, I have seen people swatching these next to Terra Moon's gray base multichromes, because if I'm not mistaken, Terra Moon's has a lot of shades that overlap with these. Off the top of my head, if I'm not mistaken, Vermilion in Terra Moon's Venus is the same. Burnt Sienna and Terra Moon's Mercury is the same, although Mercury was discontinued. Which one? Oh yeah, Verte and Big Bang are the same. And pretty much I didn't have any dupe from Terra Moon's for Azure, which is why I only bought Azure. But then I was, disappointed on it, because the Terra Moon's ones are very shiny, but Azure isn't shiny. But you can also see, like, Azure is also cheaper, so I don't know if Azure is a different formula and the other ones are shiny, or if they're all kind of dull, because based on the swatches I have seen, they didn't look less shiny to me. So my overall, my guess is that Azure might be a different formula, but I cannot recommend the other ones to you, because I have never tried them, and based on my experience with Azure, they could be kind of dull. But yeah, that is kind of what I have to say about these. Okay, now to the glitter iridescent multichromes. First of all, I have to say, I don't think these are multichromes. I really don't see a shift on them. And I, usually when I'm trying to, understand my eyeshadow, I'm gonna see it, under many sources of light. So I mean, I don't know. I really don't think these are multichromes. I don't really see shifts on these. What I see is that they're really sparkly, iridescent shadows, and glowing. The ones that are $15, $16, I guess. They have a bigger bigger particle size, while Glow, Glimmer, Gleam, and Glisten have a smaller particle size, but they're still quite sparkly. So I don't think that this big price difference is just related to the particle size, because to me they're all really sparkly. I'm gonna put a photo on the screen of the swatches I have of these, and I think you can kind of see that they are all very sparkly. These are just a tiny bit, they just have the bigger particle. But I have to say, I don't think that the $15 ones are worth it, because again, as I said, I don't see a shift on them. And if you want to compare these to something, I would probably compare these to the Terra Moon's iridescent duochromes that I talked about on my Terra Moon's video. These are, to me, the same kind of idea. I don't know if any of the colors completely line up, and if you would like me to do a comparison, just let me know in the comments. But you might be getting more, it might be cheaper for you to see the Terra Moon's ones. I mean, these ones that are $7.59 are cheaper than the Terra Moon's. The Terra Moon's, I believe, are all $8.50. So these four here are worth it. But Glowing, Glint, and Guiding, I don't know how to pronounce this, I think they're just too expensive for what they are. They are really just like an iridescent shade that I don't really see a shift on them. And then they have the Series 1 and Series 2 iridescent multichromes. I wouldn't recommend these to you based on two shades that I have. I don't have them all. I only have two shades. And both of them are more dull. So I was really let down by them. But if you like a smooth iridescent, that you can layer on top of other shadows, I think that these are probably some of the cheapest ones out there. But personally, they don't wow me. Like, I have probably worn like maybe twice the ones that I had, and I think Flickr's one that I have, and I was just really let down because it was so dull. It's really like smooth, but not shiny, not really shiny. But you know, I think that there is, you know, maybe, yeah, these ones are more expensive. I think the ones that I have are probably from the series 1. I have none from the series 2, and because they are more expensive, I'm guessing that they're shinier, but I cannot tell you, you know, if they are, because I never tried. But I think that if you like a smooth iridescent and you don't care so much about the shine and the sparkle but more about the color, you could like the series 1. And series 2, as I said, I cannot tell you if, you know, about this formula because I really don't have anything. And I think that is it, right? Yeah, then this is just the accessories. Just to kind of give you a recap. Joe multichromes are smooth metallic, black base multichromes. Hybrid multichromes is a little bit of a mixed formula, but some are more sparkly than others, but it's supposed to be sparkly formula. Glitter multichromes are sparkly and kind of sheer. Glitter vibrant multichromes is sparkly with more of an opaque base and vibrant colors. The vibrant multichromes, as I said, 3 different formulas. There is a smooth metallic formula, a sparkly formula, and a sparkly more dimensional formula. Earth vibrant and electric have a similar sparkly formula with opaque bases, not big sparkles, but more like a medium small sparkles. And pastel multichromes, for me, based on the one that I have, it's a more smooth kind of satin metallic. Pearlescent multichromes, again, I don't have these, but based on the photos I've seen, they can be more of a shiny metallic, but maybe a little bit of sparkle in them, but not super sparkly. Deep iridescent, these are more smooth metallics, and based on the one that I have, it's more like a smooth satin metallic, but maybe the other shades are shinier because of the price point difference. The glitter iridescent multichromes are super sparkly iridescent. On my, you know, for me, not really multichromes, but like one shade of iridescent, like a pink iridescent, a blue iridescent, you know. And then series 1 and series 2 are more of a shiny metallic. My guess is that the series 1, they have more of that satin shine, while series 2 has more of a shinier shine, but just because of the price difference. But you know, I don't have these, I cannot fully confirm if that's how it is. Okay, that's it. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any comments, if you have tried any of these formulas that I'm not sure about, please let me know down below because I would love to know your opinion about them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next one.